This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com coming at you today from the test kitchen where I have been testing the Sedona Dehydrator and the Excalibur Dehydrator. They're just running side by side so I can compare them and see which one I really like the best. Both models have different features and they work, pretty much the same, but the Sedona actually has a lot more features than the Excalibur, but the Excalibur has been the reliable workhorse that has been sold for many years, and the Sedona is a brand new entry into the dehydrator market. Be sure to check my other videos for my preliminary tests when I actually did a real world test on dehydrating kale chips in both machines. I've been testing these for a while, and pretty soon I'll have another episode summarizing my findings after I've had the opportunity to use both these machines side by side, for a nice long period of time. In any case, what we're going to talk about today is another thing that may come into question, and that's these guys right here. This is the Sedona reusable drying sheets, and these are the BPA and Teflon free drying sheets. Tribest came out with these in response to people not wanting to use the Teflon based sheets in their dehydrator. We sell those as the Premiflexx sheets, and that's what the de facto standard is for people into raw foods that want to make crackers, cookies, fruit roll-ups, and other things that basically will stick on, to the regular drying sheets, or it's too runny for the drying sheets. So today what we're going to show you is how these BPA-free drying sheets work in the real world test, and what we've dehydrated today are some crackers. We dehydrated some chia seed crackers, and we're going to see if they release off the BPA-free sheets, and we're going to see how they release on their standard Premiflexx sheets, which are the Teflon coated sheets. So before we open up the dehydrator, I want to just let you know this dehydrator is currently running with one fan on night mode. And I'll be quiet for a second so you can kind of hear that. And I don't know if you can even pick that up. It's actually relatively quiet. We could turn both fans on and we'll see the difference. Okay, this is one fan. There's both fans. Doesn't really sound like it made too much a difference. This is on night mode, so that's running the fans at a slower speed to be more quiet, so say you have company over. I mean, this thing is almost a silent dehydrator. Let's go ahead and turn it up to full speed here. And you could hear it a little bit more, but this one is definitely a lot more quieter than the Excalibur above top. In any case, we're not here to talk about how loud the Sedona is. We're here to talk about how these BPA-free sheets work. So next, let's go ahead and open the dehydrator and show you how they worked. Alright, so as you open the dehydrator, it's really nice. The Sedona dehydrator turns itself off, so you won't get hot air blown in your face. So here are the standard sheets. We had already cleared this one off of the crackers. I have some coconut dehydrating in there. Here are some of the crackers on one of the BPA-free sheets. You can see here, some of them kind of separate off fairly easily. And on these guys, what you have to do is you're going to have to kind of take the sheet and kind of bend it. And as you bend it, these kind of will come off a little bit, but as you can see, we're literally destroying our crackers. I mean, it is kind of working, but it is kind of not. Let's see here. So yeah, just got to bend that up. So what might help this process is if you put a coating of some kind of coconut oil on the sheets first, so that they will pop off easier, or actually put some oil into your batter. In general, I don't actually like adding oils to my recipes because that'll change the recipe. But you might have to do this if you want to use these BPA-free sheets, because looks like to me, I mean, it does kind of work, but it's not necessarily coming off as easy as the non-stick sheets. It is actually kind of working. So I guess some crackers can be a little bit tougher to separate off. Maybe if they're too thin, they'll tend to break up instead of come off in full chunks. So this is once again, the Tribest BPA-free non-stick sheets. And here's another thing of crackers we did, and we just laid this out as a whole big piece. And this looks rather thin, so let's go ahead and take it from the end here, and we're going to go ahead and lift that up. So check it out. It actually is working fairly well. We are getting some residual stuff left on the sheet, but it is separating, although at some points, it's just coming apart and it's not separating. It's not keeping one continuous large piece. I think this could be rectified by once again making the batter a little bit thicker. When it's thinner, it doesn't separate. As you could also see, there's some extra material left on the BPA-free sheet. Now these sheets are made of PP or polypropylene, so this is, once again, a type of plastic. Next, let's take a look at the tray that has the Premiflexx sheets on it. And here it is, and as you can see, these are just an easy release. They come off nice and easy, and there's barely any residue left on the regular non-stick sheets. So there are no non-stick sheets that directly fit the Sedona Dehydrator, but what you can do is order the standard Premiflexx sheets that fit the Excalibur Dehydrator, and then you're going to trim off one edge so that it'll fit perfectly in the Sedona Dehydrator. Once again, the de facto standard non-stick Premiflexx sheets worked much better than the BPA-free sheets, but you know what? These actually performed quite well, and I'm quite happy with how they did. Now, once again, you need to keep in mind that these are not going to work as good as the non-stick sheets, the Premiflexx sheets, or the Teflon coated sheets. But once again, these don't have the Teflon. So if having some Teflon in contact with your food bothers you, then by all means go with this. But be aware that you're not going to get exactly the same performance. But I do believe this is acceptable. So that'll do it, and hope you've enjoyed this episode learning how the TriBest BPA-free sheets work in a real-world situation. Now, once again, we did do chia seed crackers, which, because of the oils in the chia seeds, will release a little bit easier than something like fruit roll-ups, which may not release as easily. But I believe they do work to a point, and they work fairly good. But if you're expecting them to work exactly like and as good as the, Teflon-coated Premiflexx sheets, you got another thing coming. So keep in mind they are BPA-free and Teflon-free, but they don't quite work just as well. The good thing about it all is that now you have a choice. You can get the BPA-free sheets for your Sedona Dehydrator, or you can get the de facto standard Premiflexx sheets that contain Teflon. Once again, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.